don't know about you all, but I am so glad that the DNC is over so I don't have to sit through any more of those BS speeches. But there was just one speech at the DNC that I did enjoy. It wasn't on the main stage. No, it actually happened in the crowd. And it came from an unexpected speaker, someone who I would never expect to say something like this, which is maybe why it had such an effect on me. Maybe it's why it stuck out to me so much. But I feel like this was the real highlight from the DNC. A guy by the name of Cuomo, I'm sure a lot of you all know him. He's a reporter, used to work for CNN. I never liked the guy at CNN. I'm not going to sit here and say I like the guy now, but I did like what he had to say at the DNC. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
A big theme here at the DNC is that they're going to go after corporate gouging, and they're going to go after corporations, whether it's in taxes, largesse, loopholes. The RNC, we heard the same thing. They're going after the elites, the two sets of rules. Let me reveal a reality to you that has to be spoken to here, okay? These are the soldiers. These are the men and the women that go back to their constituencies and their communities, and they fight. They take time from their jobs. They take time from their families. Republicans and Democrats alike, that's what they do. They need to charge these people up. They need to be able to get them on board. But there's another reality that is literally looking down on them. Greg, look at the ring of sweets, okay? This is not unique to Democrats. There is a game of money. When people talk about uniparty, we are strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those suites start at 500 grand. You think there's like a teacher group up in there? You think it's like the Cub Scouts of Columbia County, South Carolina, that's up in those boxes? Some of them are lobbies and good things. The media boxes, you think they're free? Why do you think I'm on the floor? News Nation is not a broke company. Nexstar is a massive organization. We are corporate media. We don't have one of those boxes because that's the game. You pay to play. Those boxes are filled with the same people that they say they're going to regulate. They are literally looking down on the faithful and being told, yeah, we're going to break down on them. We're going to make them pay their share. They paid $500, $700, $1 million, $1.5 million to have those seats. They get hotel suites that are probably gifted to the party. And the same thing is true with the Republican side. And they're going to take them down. They're going to change how it is. They are looking down from on high at the people who make the difference in their communities. And that is the reality of politics. And I had my producer walk around and show you those suites. Now, they're not all the same. They're not all the same. But the reality is, in 2000, they spent $300 million on presidential campaigns. 24 years later, you know what they're expected to spend? $10 billion. Do you know how much money Harris has raised in the last couple of weeks? Hundreds of millions. And that's success. A lot of it's small donor, a lot of it isn't. The most dangerous money in politics is now legal money because of Citizens United. You've got to know this. The idea that they can fight against it is almost laughable. It's almost laughable. So look and listen when you are told these things. Because I don't care what they promise you. Not here tonight, not at the RNC, not that Trump knows them, not that they don't own them. He did one of the biggest fundraisers I've ever heard of in my life out where I live. Millions of dollars a plate. That's the reality of politics.
I mean, he absolutely went off the chain. And I love to see it. This is the type of stuff that we need to be seeing from the media, from our reporters. What happened to real journalism? What happened to real journalism? Not state-funded media. What happened to actual media? And listen, Cuomo, he has a history of just not being that great. Okay? But maybe it was the shackles of CNN. Maybe he felt like he had to act a certain way or be a certain way at CNN. I don't know, but this is much different than what I've come to expect from the guy. Now, we know CNN also kind of snipped him loose. They fired him, so maybe he's jaded. Maybe he's angry. Maybe this is his revenge. But regardless of what this is or what this was, he spoke a lot of truth. A lot of truth that people need to hear. And it's the truth that they may hear from me, they may hear from you, but some people need to hear it from people like Chris Cuomo. I understand that you don't need the mainstream media to validate things for you. You don't need the mainstream media to explain things for you, but some people do. Some people still look to people like Chris Cuomo for guidance or look to people like him for news. So I do think this has a major effect on those people. And I like that he's calling out people on both sides, because one thing you'll learn about me is I'm not afraid to call out people on both sides. I don't feel as if I belong to a particular political party. I feel like I'm just an American that wants what's best for my country. I want what's best for me and my family, and I want what's best for you and yours. And if I feel like Republicans are the better option at the moment, then that's the way I'll lean. If I feel differently, then I'll lean that way. So I like that he's calling out, the hypocrisy on both sides. Because, at the DNC, they're talking about, how they're going to crush the billionaires and do all of this, but the room is filled with billionaires. Kamala Harris raised hundreds of millions of dollars. And then you got the Obamas coming up there acting as if they're humble and poor. They're talking, about generational wealth and how, minorities will never have generational wealth. Well, what about your kids? The Obama's kids will never have to work a day in their life. Generational wealth can be created and spread by any race. But there was just a lot of hypocrisy going on. And to see someone like Chris Cuomo just go off the chain and call it out, I thought it was a beautiful moment. And I hope that we get more moments like this, even if it's coming from people who we don't really expect it to come from. And I mean, we're living in some interesting times, folks. RFK Jr. just endorsed Donald Trump. And I feel like we have this little window, a short little window between now and the election, where unsuspecting allies can come together to defeat a common enemy. And I think that's what we should be focused on doing. So even when I see people like Chris Cuomo, I haven't agreed with anything this guy said in the past, I'll accept this for now. Because we need more of this for now. And if there's a chance that we can come together, heal some type of wounds, and find common ground in order to not be subjected to Kamala Harris as president, then so be it. So be it. I'm not going to sit here and rag on Chris Cuomo for kind of changing his tune. I'm happy he is. But for now, I want to hear your tune down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.